All right, so here's the deal. We're talking about Tom Ford. It's been a while since we've spun the block on this house. I don't know where I'm at with my feelings of Tom Ford, but Tom Ford was one of the first designer fragrance, brands that I came across that felt more niche, more elegant than a lot of the stuff you find in your Sephora and Ulta Beauty. And at the time I discovered the house of Tom Ford, they weren't even really in Ulta Beauties and stuff like that, at least where I live. So I always consider them to be niche, but the more time's gone on and the more I've explored houses, I mean, I know that technically on paper they are considered a designer house, but in terms of my own perception of the brand, it has gone down, but they do have some absolutely spectacular offerings, and I absolutely respect the legacy and history of fragrances that they've been able to produce over time, because I think they have some absolute bangers. And we have a new release on our hands. I almost said a 2026 release, and it basically is, because here we are in January of 2026, but this fragrance came out just a month ago. So around mid-December of 2025. So it is still fresh off the press. Strap up. All right. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I'm your host for the evening. Today from the house of Tom Ford, we have one of their latest releases from the private blend line, I believe. We'll confirm that in a second. Figue Érotique. Can you guess what note it has in it? I know I'm going to destroy this little box. It's like Beauty and the Beast. I have like the Beast's hands. So opening something this delicate was just bound to piss me off. What can I tell you about this fragrance? Launched early to mid-December, had early access at Sephora, followed by a general release on the 7th, so early mid-December. Highlighting Figue. It's Tom Ford private blend in terms of the collection. Initially exclusive to Sephora, now available more broadly. What is the family of this fragrance? Considered a floral fruity gourmand. All right, man. Let's get into this. Let's cut it out with the games. Let's go straight to it. I haven't smelt some Tom Ford in a while, but I do like a lot of stuff from there. Plum Japonais, Oud Wood, Tobacco Oud Wood Intense. Man, now you guys are making me go back. Noir EDP, Noir Extreme, Gray Vetiver. Man, you could tell it's been a while since I've been back to the house of Tom Ford, because I have to actually think. Black Orchid, some of their older stuff. I gotta actually remind myself what Tom Ford's that I absolutely loved, but I do respect the house. They always, I think Tom Ford will forever feel niche to me. Again, on paper, they're a designer brand because they make more than just fragrances. Socks, shoes, suits, glasses, accessories, etc. And that's what classifies it as a designer house. But I feel like their fragrances punch at niche level a lot of the time. Sometimes their fragrances feel very Happy Meal, but we'll get into that on another date. Maybe we'll do a deep house dive on Tom Ford. Let's see what this fragrance is hitting for. I actually didn't even hit the test strip, so you could tell I'm tired. Okay. Floral Fruity Gourmand, centered around the note of fig. Women's fragrance right away. If this was a bubble gum, like, you know how you get those exotic fruit flavors in bubble yum? This has that quality to it. Like, this smells like a passion fruit fig bubble yum. This juicy, fruity flavor that you would just be smacking on. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I get. It's amazing, though, because it feels really wrapped in a ton of florals, but there's still this lush fig to it. It feels like when you cut open the fig and you rip it apart and you kind of just mash it, you get a very fig skin likeness, but the sweetness is as juicy as if you were to open a fig. But you know, a fig isn't one of the brightest fruits. It's more rich, but this kind of has a little bright kick to a rich profile of fig, almost as if it was fig skin, in the same way that God of Fire or Mango Skin or Herba Gold from, Xerjoff, Wilhelm, and Stephanie Humbert, in the same way that those feel like the actual mango skin, this feels like the skin of the fig with this bright bubble yum wrapped in white floral hug of a fragrance. It smells like bubblegum, but not your typical bubblegum. Again, that exotic passion fruit fig bubblegum in the bubble yum platform. I'm trying to act all elegant to describe gum. I think this would be a really good scent for a woman. Fun. It's not elegant, but it smells expensive. Like, the complexity isn't all over the place. It's just a very rich, somewhat exotic take on a photoreal fig. It's a good smell, perfectly balanced. Again, the quality is nice, but it's very simple. It's easy to understand. I don't think this is unisex. As a man, I would immediately be reaching for dark fragrances, a dark smoky wood fragrance like a Bentley Absolute or like a Patchouli heavy fragrance to just ground this sucker. And once you do that, now you're kind of getting in the realm of like a side effect type of fragrance from Initio. But this is hard feminine lean for me. It smells like a exotic bubble gum, an exotically fruity hair conditioner, something you might even get at Lush. But it's a good smell. I like it. Not on me, though. Let's go ahead and check out the notes. Figue Érotique. There's nothing really erotic about it other than the fact that it's just fig. I mean, the juice, it smells exactly how you would imagine a fruit fragrance smelling coming out of this bottle. What's the rating so far? 3.36 out of 246 votes. I think that's a bit harsh. I think this is more like 3.8 to 4.0 territory. But, it is a fruity fragrance. Let's see the notes here. Fig leaf, bergamot, mandarin, pink pepper, fig, ylang ylang, salt, licorice, vetiver, brown sugar, and patchouli. Immediately when I look at this note pairing, I immediately think about alternatives. Vintage Green 78. A great alternative to this. Leans a little more on the green notes, but smells exactly like this. A little more juvenile, but ramp up the sprays. It's a $20 alternative. Take it with a grain of sand. Or a grain of salt. There's also a fig fragrance. I think it's sea salt and fig from Old Navy. See, I'm getting at the point in my fragrance journey where I'm starting to forget stuff. Yeah, even this fragrance, sea salt and fig from Old Navy, which you can get for $5, $10, $15, 4.27 out of 5 with the same amount of votes. Do I know what I'm talking about or what? Fig and sea salt. As simple as that is, smells delightful. My son loves wearing this fragrance. If you want something a little bit more, I think this more closely imitates it and would be a very good cheap alternative for the ladies. I think for the men, the alternative that's going to feel a little bit greener is going to be Vintage Green 78. And if you want the highest rendition of this scent profile, the alternative you're going to go for is none other than a fragrance that I brag about pretty much, twice a week, like it's a daily vitamin. And that's Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria Forte Neroli Vetiver. Now, there is a heavy neroli emphasis despite my disdain for neroli, but you get the fig leaf, the fig, the ylang ylang, the vetiver, all of that, the orange, the bergamot, all of that is in Aqua Allegoria Neroli Forte. Let's see what they say this smells like. Are any of those fragrances in here? No. So I will be on my Fragrantica account soon, adding all 3 of those fragrances to this composition. None of those alternatives that I recommended have the kind of bubblegummy feel that this has, but it has all of those notes. Again, Vintage Green 78 smells exactly like this with a green note emphasis. Sea Salt and Fig feels exactly like this without the bubblegum, but still that more feminine lean, sweetness. And then Aqua Allegoria Neroli Forte, I feel, is perfectly unisex, daily reach. All of these are daily reach, year-round fragrances. They sit in an upscale to casual fragrance. They smell very good. All the alternatives are great, and I don't think you'll have a problem with them. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. As a fragrance, man, it sucks because I like this scent profile. I think for a woman, 8 out of 10. Easy. For a man, 7 out of 10. And for that reason, I'm going to recommend the alternative. But if you had this fragrance, please, for the love of our sweet Lord, wait till it comes down in price. You really shouldn't pay more than like $130 or less for a fragrance like this. But it is a dumb reach fragrance that you will wear all the time for fun. Women will. So you need a lot of juice with it. You know, it is a 100 ml bottle type of feel because you're wearing it every single day and you probably want to ramp up the sprays. Performance on this, I can't see it going for more than 4 strong hours, skin scent to 6. What are people saying here on Fragrantica? Strong votes in favor of moderate performance and sillage. And I agree with that. Yeah, so for guys, I feel like it's a 7 out of 10. For women, it's 8 out of 10. There are valid alternatives, both cheap and expensive. The nice thing about Aqua Allegoria Forte Neroli Vetiver is I got it for $60, 120 mil. So I don't see you guys, even on your worst day, paying more than $100 for that bottle. And that smacks this fragrance around. It's not even funny how much more elegant that fragrance is than this for both men and women. But this has that Tom Ford feel. There's many Tom Ford fragrances that I feel punch extremely upper echelon niche level, but this fragrance would fall kind of right next to, Tobacco Vanille, Vanilla Sex, Lost Cherry, all of their typical kind of teeny bop section of fragrances. I can see a lot of young women copping this in Sephora like hotcakes. Men, not so much. But it feels like one of their more juvenile fragrances, not their more elegant, 25 and up type of fragrances that they're known for in their history. This would go next to the bitter peaches and all that stuff. But anyways, not a bad take. Just, it's a good fig for sure. It just is not that special. So for that reason, I personally am at a 7. It's average. I would buy Vintage Green 78 over this because you virtually get the same thing and you're saving a buttload of money. All year round, feminine leaning, 10 plus sprays, super casual, at best upscale casual, and yeah, we went over everything. The price point. What does this retail for? It just came out, so it's got to be high. Let's go to Lucky Scent. Lucky Scent don't got it. Does Fragrance Net got it? Let's see. Figue, what is it? Figue Érotique. Figue Érotique. They don't even got it. Who the heck has it? Sephora Figue Érotique. So this at Sephora, it's loading. Should I take you guys out with me? Go ahead. I won't make you sit around and look at my face. Look at my screen. It's just loading. Can we refresh? There we go. $405 for 50 mil. Are you insane? Are you demented? Are you out of your mind? Wouldn't pay more than $100 for this. Truthfully. So wait till it comes down, guys. Don't get the 30 mil. It looks ridiculous on your shelf. Looks like you're broke and you're trying to play the part but can't. And I would never pay $255 for a 30 mil unless that thing was jumping out of the gym. Anyways, with that being said, this was Tom Ford's latest December of 2025 release of Figue Érotique. And it's okay, ladies, it's above average, but you got alternatives, and I recommend all of them, even the Old Navy. With that being said, hope you enjoyed this interview or this review. Let me know, guys, what fig fragrances are you a fan of? I know they got the Fig Me Up from the Mancera. I mean, there's just a buttload of fig fragrances, and I love the note, but I typically tend to lean on loving it when it's more masculine, tucked off, no more than 40% in a fragrance. For the ladies, I think you can get away with more, but this is a little too figgy for me, and I know better options out there. But let me know if you've put your nose on this and your thoughts on it, or if you have any questions. With that being said, hope you guys are blessed. And until next time, love y'all. Take care.